Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, today we are going to talk about people who say, you know what? Carnival is being completely unfair. In fact, every cruise line out there is being unfair in this situation because they would not give us a refund for something that we canceled because, well, we were just too tired. So, what's happening? Let's just talk about this situation where a passenger was on board Carnival Cruise Line and they booked a chef's table with two other of her guests. Now, in case you've never been to a chef's table, many times sometimes on some cruise lines you can book a chef's table ahead of time. But like for instance on Princess Cruise Lines, you can only book once you're on board. And so it's because it's a very exclusive, limited event. There's usually only between 10 to maybe 14 seats at a chef's table, and they might do it on a 7-day voyage. They might have two, maybe if you were lucky, 3 chef's tables at one time. So when you have a ship that holds 4,000 passengers and you're only allowing, say, 30 of them to have a chef's table, you can see where the demand would be high. It's a culinary experience. You're often given a galley tour when you start off, and you're introduced to some of the chefs downstairs in the galley, and you're introduced to the head chef, maybe the maitre d' as well. The hotel director sometimes pops in. Many times you will then be escorted up to where you will have your dining experience. It'll be in an area away normally from everybody else, somehow sort of secluded either by curtains or a bead or a room by itself. And there you will be given, appetizers, and you'll be giving special meals that usually last a total of like 3-hour experience, for which you're paying a premium price, right? You're paying in the $110 to $150 range depending on the cruise line and if you're taking wine or not. Often they will pair a wine specifically with each serving that they're doing, from a starter palate cleanser to a red wine that would go perfect with this beef, or a white wine that would go with the fish that's coming, or a dessert wine to come out with your desserts. And all of these things are created and hosted by the head chef and the maitre d' in the dining experience. So you can see why it can't be done every single night. It just can't. It's an exclusive event that you're paying for this experience. And sometimes you get souvenirs where you get photos with the maitre d' and photos with the head chef. Sometimes you'll even get a cookbook. I have a few cookbooks back there that I've collected over the years from my cruises that I get signed by the chefs as well. So all that being said, this passenger failed to show up with the 2 guests for the tour of the galley. So right away, the host and everything call up to the room to see if they're okay and everything, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're okay. We won't be coming though." Because you know what, we just had a really long day today and we're really, really tired, so we're not going to come to this event, so please just refund us the money. The event's already going on. The event has already started. The dinner has already started. Like, they're ready to go into the galley tour. It's not like you're 3 days in advance, 4 days in advance. Please refund us the money. And then they said, of course, the cruise line said, sorry, it's too late to cancel. You will be charged for these events. So it's no small money. So say this is only, say, $125 on average. That's $375 out the window that you're not doing, that you're paying for nothing if you're paying for 3 guests. So yeah, it's not a small amount of money for sure. But you got to look at it from the cruise line's point. When the event is already going on, there's no time to get another guest in there to fill that spot. They've set aside those tables. They have waiters and cooks and the chef and the maitre d' and hosts all, working for this one event. They need to make the money to pay for all of this. And of course, now these people are not showing up. Of course, they don't get their way. So what do? You head to social media and you complain on social media that this is unfair and unjust, and the carnival's treating them not right. And but yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you have a right for a refund in this situation, and I don't get it, right? I don't understand. It's like your flight is boarding right now and you call the airline and say, yeah, I'm too tired to take this flight this morning. Please give me my refund. They're not going to do it. Right? They're not going to do that. I don't understand people who think that, oh, they have all kinds of money, they're just going to automatically refund me, and then complain when it was their choice not to go. Now, to be fair, also, the cruise lines have a cancellation policy that if you cancel 48 hours in advance, there is no charge. So had they known, oh, we're going to go into shore that day, and you know what, we're going swimming with the dolphins, and then we have a beach excursion, we're going to spend a lot of days, we're going to get to that restaurant and the bar pretty late in the day, maybe the chef's table on that day is not the best idea, and they would have canceled, no problems. But they didn't even bother to call and talk to the restaurant or the hosts or dining services. They just didn't show up. It was the restaurant who had to call them and say it. And of course they say, well, they were rude and they were, very judgmental. And well, were they rude because they said no? Is that being rude? Is that being rude by saying, sorry, you made a mistake, you should have canceled ahead of time? Is that rude? Or is that just stating a fact? I don't get it. But I can quite also imagine if you're ready to go to social media and complain online that this is a treatment unfair and you think you should have got your money back, even though you didn't even bother to call them to let them know you weren't going. This sounds like a person who was probably not the kindest and gentlest person on the other end of the phone when they got that phone call asking if they were coming or where they were or anything like that. And, in some cases, I've had dining experiences where I've been booked and I was sick. I got sick and I wasn't feeling well. And I told them, I'm sorry, really not feeling well. I don't think I can attend this. It probably wouldn't be good for the guests. And they didn't charge me because they thought it was actually being considerate that I was thinking of the other guests and possibly not getting them sick as well. So there are circumstances where the cruise lines will say, oh yeah, okay, you know what? Thank you for this, and et cetera, and no problem. But yeah, just because you're tired, because you had a long day, is not the cruise line's fault. It's not the cruise line's responsibility. And if you were going to do a chef's table and you book it, at least have the consideration to call them when you get back from that shore excursion day and say, hey, look, something happened on this trip. We just don't think we can make it tonight. Maybe then they would have had a little bit more consideration for you as opposed to them having to contact you because you just didn't bother to show up. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever done a chef's table? I've done numerous chef's table, and it's one of my favorite things to do on cruises when I have a chance. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough about chef's tables because you never know what they're going to serve you. Sometimes the chefs go really out there and sometimes they go really traditional, but it's always something very exciting. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.